moves his head very well inside.
Yep.
Сел, расслабился, все. Расслабился, хорош. Хорош. Пить.
You dictate no pace.
No, I gotta get my jab out.
All right, but don't let him get no pace on you.
Okay.
All right?
Stop laying on the rope.
The ropes is not good for you, all right? Don't let him get no pace on you. You got me?
Come on, baby.
Now what? Get your shots together.
Here you see Pirog landing punches, and I think the biggest problem that Jacobs had, he didn't know where they was coming from because it's such a different variety of punches. And the right hand here was a great shot, but he didn't actually get a knockdown score against him simply because his gloves, his body never touched the canvas. But as close as you can get without being knocked down.
Strong legs kept Jacobs from going to the canvas on a brilliant 1-2 straight up the middle by Pirog. Harold, how do you have it through two?
Okay, Jim, I've got a 19-19, one round apiece. But I got to tell you something. I disagree with Emmanuel Stewart. That should have been a knockdown. Those ropes were holding this guy up. The guy went into the ropes. You know, if the ropes weren't there, Danny Jacobs would have been on his back. And therefore, Robert Byrd should have given him a mandatory 8 count. Robert Byrd gave him a break on that call. He definitely was caught up in those ropes. Be as it may, Danny Jacobs probably pulled out the first round with good, strong right hands. Pirog beat the heck out of him in the second round, 1 round apiece.
CompuBox numbers favored Jacobs in round 1. CompuBox numbers clearly favored Pirog in round 2, as you might expect.
I didn't see the ropes holder. He was bending forward.
I think it was a pretty close call.
He was bending forward when he regained his balance, and not that he was back in the ropes holding where he would have fell out of the ropes.
I was watching his butt on the replay, looking for exactly that, and I think his butt was just in front of the rope instead of on it. But it was a very close call. Certainly, Byrd wouldn't have been criticized if he had given the 8 count.
I think the more important problem is Danny Jacobs trying to figure out the movements and the pressure that's being applied to him from all angles.
Well, he agreed with his cornerman that he can't be backed up against the ropes, that the ropes are not a good place. But Pirog has him against the ropes again. And now there's a look of concern on Jacobs' face that shows you that there are mysteries in there for him which need to be solved.
I saw that look after the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and so he was having problems hitting him, and not like they had rehearsed and planned. So, you just have to make adjustments if he can. Realize he's got a very talented fighter and start boxing different. Do a lot of feinting before he punches to make him move first and then hit him.
Just because Pirog did not star in the Russian amateur program and go to the Olympics and earn the kind of profile that several Russian fighters have gotten from their Olympic action, a lot of people might have thought, oh, maybe he's not as good as those other guys. Maybe he's better. Because he has trained himself into a more American style.
Watching the tapes of Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Look at the head movement there.
Definitely not a European fighter, so maybe his style wasn't really compatible with what their scoring system was over there neither.
You're fighting somebody from Russia. If you're looking for that stolid, stand-up, stationary style, not here. This guy is a mover.
Well, what's interesting to me is the pressure that he's putting on, and Danny's doing good right now, but I don't know the pressure that he's putting on Danny. He's making Danny fight and move a lot faster than I think Danny wants to.
Right hand by Jacobs.
Yeah, I think he better pull one that round.
That may help his composure.
Yep.
His ass off. All right, you got me?
Nice
but let your hands flow a little better.
Who's the number
one?
No,
let your hands flow. Right, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. And get your combinations off. All right? Get your combinations off. Look, your jab is beautiful. Use your jab more. The double and triple your jab. If you get him going backwards, keep him going back. But like I know, he cannot fight going backwards. Keep him more balanced. Don't let him dictate no pace.
Right here, you can see the great defense of Pirog, which is his upper body movement. He pivots and turns, good head movement. Very, very difficult to land with 2 punches, even if you hit him with 1 punch. Right here, you see Jacobs in a beautiful, clean right hand, probably the best punch he's landed tonight. And that's what he's got to keep doing. And after he lands those punches, get away right away. Move away. But he's going to have to be in great shape tonight because he's going to have pressure on him all night long.
Harold Letterman gave Jacobs the round. That right hand helped to sort of even the score, given that Pirog has already landed 3 or 4 of those kinds of damaging shots with both the left and the right hands. Good body shot by Jacobs. Pirog leaned into that one. CompuBox numbers in the 3rd round favored Jacobs. 13 out of 75 to 6 of 48 for Pirog. Jacobs back in that southpaw stance. Seems to feel he maybe has a better chance to land a power left hand out of this stance than out of his conventional stance, Emmanuel.
Well, I still can't figure it out, but evidently he must feel more comfortable in it. But I haven't saw him land too much, except the first time he did it, he was able to land a looping left hand. But other than that, he's not been that effective. But, you know, it's risky when you're fighting a guy with a great upper body movement that Pirog had to be doing anything that's experimental, so to say.
Pirog's got a little bit of showboat in him, too.
Definitely not your regular.
Talking to Jacobs in there. Jacobs hammering to the body. I don't suppose Pirog is speaking Russian to Jacobs.
You know what surprised me? A lot of these guys, they speak a lot better English than they let you on to think. Because most of them had it standard in their school over there.
They take it in first grade.
Yeah, but they try to let you think that they don't speak, but they understand a lot of things when we're speaking to them.
Well, that was always the old Soviet persona. I mean, during the days of Soviet Union control of sport in those countries, people who spoke perfect English were absolutely deaf and dumb when American reporters were around.
Yeah. And as soon as you leave, then they start speaking.
Pirog's head is so elusive. I think if I were in Jacobs' corner, Emmanuel, I might beg him to focus on the body for a while.
Yes. And then Jacobs has to try to throw his flurs and land and get away right away. But I think that the fight's going to be fairly competitive to a certain degree, but I'm just worried about the condition of Jacobs going down the stretch.
Because?
Well, I don't think he's ever had this type of a pressure that's put on him. These guys come in very difficult pressure, too. Not a straight line pressure.
Well, Jacobs' biggest win was in August last year, almost a year ago against Ishe Smith. Ishe Smith, much older than Pirog, not nearly as active, a different kind of proposition.